Hush now and listen closely, for before we delve into this narrative, I must gently caution you that it wanders through the shadows of complex emotions. It wrestles with the challenges of new motherhood, the ties of family, and the sting of betrayal. If these matters cause you unease, you might consider stopping your observation immediately. Listen closely. I am Penelope, a traveler of the sun's journey for 40 years. If you were to peer into the intricate weave of my life, you might find it quite unconventional. Still, I have learned to cherish it in all its strange beauty. Had you softly confided in me a mere decade ago that my life would twist in such unexpected ways, I would have surely laughed and dismissed it as nothing more than a cruel joke. How could I have ever entrusted my heart to you? Not at this moment. In this quiet moment, I sit at my kitchen table, the soft light of dawn spilling in my thoughts, drifting as I linger over a half-filled cup of coffee. In my quest to unravel the threads of the past, I seek meaning within the countless moments that have unfolded, yet the true essence slips through my fingers. For these 8 long years, it has been just my son Maximus and I entwined in our solitary path. Since the fracture of our bond, we have wandered through existence as 2 souls intertwined, as if the universe itself plotted our entanglement. Let us remember that fleeting instant when it soared into the unknown, as his father slipped away into the shadows. Young Jack, just a fleeting moment in the vast expanse of existence. Before my eyes he held back every drop of sorrow. He does not yet, I could sense it in the subtle grace with which she carried herself. In the quiet of his heart, I caught the longing look he directed toward the window, as if he were hoping for his father's return. Yet deep within, he must have sensed the painful reality that such a reunion was merely an elusive fantasy. With every passing day, he lingered in anticipation, heart racing in the shadows of unspoken desires. With every fleeting moment, I witnessed the melancholic shade settle upon his face as the time of his father's return faded deeper into the abyss of despair. In the quiet of dawn, as his father took his leave, I made a silent promise to my own heart. In that fleeting instant, I pledged with every fiber of my being to shield Jack from the torment of emotion. In the quiet moments, I would remain a constant presence in his life, offering him the gentle comfort of closeness and the unwavering support of connection. Though it is just the 2 of us, that promise has become the foundation of every action I take from this moment on. The driving force that pushes me onward, even in the darkest moments, has never been an easy journey. Still, I have sought to create for Cray a sanctuary of stability, to offer him the love and support he so desperately needs. Even as the world cast its shadows upon us for what felt like an eternity, I was convinced I had skillfully woven everything into a delicate balance. Maximus, a young man with a gentle spirit, radiated an uncommon warmth, while Ken, a quiet presence, always aimed to assist in the tasks of our modest home. There lingered a softness within him, a trait that distinguished him even among the crowd of other vibrant spirits. Yet as the moments slipped away, the currents of fate began to shift in subtle, unexpected ways. He began a transformation that was both intriguing and enigmatic. And if I may be honest, I too felt the subtle shifts within my own being. Jack has turned 18 this year, a significant milestone that stirs profound emotions within us both. He has shed the innocence of childhood, yet in the quiet corners of my mind, I find myself contemplating his journey toward grasping the essence of true manhood. The transition from youth to adulthood is frequently cloaked in uncertainty. I see he wrestles with it deeply. He has always been a bit reserved. From his tender years, he felt not the yearning to dwell in the company of others, but rather a serene isolation where unspoken desires lingered in the shadows. Other youths never sought the hushed exchanges and lingering glances that captivated his heart, unlike the raucous celebrations of his companions. He rarely steps outside, seeking comfort in the quiet sanctuary of his home. He lacks the bonds of deep connection, not in the way one would expect from a young soul. I have tried to speak with him about it, hoping to uncover any hidden flaws that may exist, should he ever find himself enveloped in quietude or turmoil. Each time I summon the courage to broach the subject, he simply shrugs, dismissing my concerns with an air of indifference, insisting I am fine, yet I see through his facade more clearly than he realizes. In truth, he is far from fine. A mother holds a deep understanding even as her child attempts to influence dear hero. Yet a month ago, Jack revealed to me something utterly unexpected, a truth that took me by surprise and left me breathless. Words that caressed my ears, unexpected, and laden with a weight I was unprepared to bear. As the dusk wrapped around us like a silken shroud, it was just the two of us in the dimly lit room, when he, with an unexpected intensity, laid bare his soul in a way that stirred something deep within me. He softly confessed to me that he had been indulging in what was rightfully mine. First, let us delve into the delicate layers that conceal my most intimate secrets. My thoughts were shrouded in confusion, tangled in a web of unspoken desires. The essence of his words eluded my comprehension. My thoughts were ensnared in a web of unspoken truths, unable to grasp the depths of the situation before me. And when the truth enveloped me, when I finally understood the weight of his confessions, it was as though the earth had crumbled away, leaving me suspended in a void of uncertainty. My heart raced with a fervent urgency. My breath caught in my chest. My heart ached to speak, to implore the cosmos and reveal the chaotic whispers that swirled within his restless soul. What do you think could have driven him to think such an act was acceptable? Still I held back. Yet I lingered in silence. There I lingered, caught in a moment, my gaze locked onto him. In that moment, he seemed almost fragile, a mere shadow of himself. Oh, what heavy burden clings to my soul. Overwhelmed by a heavy sense of shame, he let his eyes drift downwards, unable to meet the world around him. Stay away from my journey. His posture bent in a way that awakened a profound desire within me for his hidden struggles. The young man who once radiated eagerness to help now cloaked in an aura of quietude. There sat kindness cloaked in shadows, carrying a weight that felt both familiar and elusive, a mystery that danced just beyond my understanding. In that hushed instant, a profound revelation quietly unfolded within me. This affair goes beyond the actions he has taken. The actions held no significance in the shadows of unspoken truths. The surge of emotion, the hidden resentment I might have concealed, arose from a deeper source. Oh, a soft murmur of desire dances in the shadows. He had never discovered the language to unveil his hidden desires. Within him lingered a profound feeling, shrouded in shadows and unspoken desires. A notion that lingered in the shadows of his soul, bound tightly within the confines of his heart. This narrative unfolds his courageous struggle. His confusion lingered in the air, heavy with unspoken truths. His isolation clings to him like a shadow, a burden that deepens with each passing moment, and his quiet fear. In that moment I found myself frozen in place, as he struggled to comprehend not just the stark realities of what had transpired, but the unspoken heavy emotions she carried, a weight he had yet to learn how to articulate. He was neither a despicable fiend nor a shadowy figure lurking in the night. He was my creation, and behold, he grappled with his hidden struggles. Entangled in a storm of hidden desires, he clutched the essence with a simmering yearning. She discovered that the threads of her destiny were woven by hands other than her own. Alas, I chose to guard my heart to shield him from the shadows that lingered, for he already carried a burden too great to bear. In that moment, he unveiled his choice. I made a pact with him. I softly revealed to him that he could chase his yearnings as he saw appropriate. Yet indeed, there must be rules in place. He may discover comfort in the depths of his own desires. Yet he felt an irresistible pull to carry out this act before my eyes. In this way I could safeguard him, enveloped in a shroud of tender watchfulness, that he had ceased to wander down the shadowy trails of temptation. In a quiet exchange, I proclaimed my intent to welcome anyone I desired into the sanctuary, free from his watchful gaze or judgment upon my choices. It was a remedy shrouded in shadows. In that brief instant, a singular thought lingered, echoing softly in the shadows of my mind. Then perhaps destiny would have crafted a more intricate design. Jack seems to revel in the quiet comfort of this moment. Wrapped in a delicate calm, Hessel rarely partakes in conversation. Yet he does not turn away from me, as he had in the past. And I as well. Indeed, I have started to sense that this arrangement does not benefit him exclusively. It is mine too in the shadows of our unspoken truths. It grants me the freedom I have secretly desired, lingering through countless moments that have slipped away. The freedom to navigate my days without the weight of caution in his company. In the hushed embrace of the night, I linger in contemplation, questioning if my decisions were born of insight or misstep. Pray what hidden musings might linger in the hearts of men, should they uncover the veiled truth. Will they see me as a broken soul? A disappointment in my own existence? Perhaps they could. Yet they linger in the shadows of unawareness. Maximus. They remain oblivious to the heartache of observing a beloved child in distress, all the while grappling with the inability to alleviate their suffering. They remain oblivious to the burdens of life, unaware of the delicate dance required to maintain a fragile balance, struggling to hold on to my poise, fearing the unraveling of my very being. What hidden destinies lie in wait for us in the shadows of tomorrow? My heart trembles, unsure if this bond will withstand the test of time. Or perhaps it is a quiet harbinger ready to reveal its hidden truths to those who dare to listen. Yet indeed this captures the very core of our being. This is the journey we have chosen to embark upon, and though it may be entwined with shadows and fraught with tension, I pour every ounce of my being into this for him and for the destiny we share. If you remain by my side, I implore you do not overlook the chance to share your appreciation for this video. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for a treasure trove of stories like this one. Softly, I promise you, a treasure of hidden delights lies in wait, yearning to be uncovered. The arrangement unfolded in ways I never intended. It was a notion that lingered in the shadows, unspoken yet palpable. Alas, the deed is sealed in silence. It has merely unfolded. In a hushed instant, I sat contemplating how to unveil the delicate matter with Jack about the confessions he had shared with me. And then behold, the words flowed from my lips, as if guided by a force that transcended my own desires. You may carry on with your pursuits, I declared, but I demand specific rewards in return. He looked at me as if I had spoken in a language foreign to him. His face paled, and for a brief instant his hands tightened into fists on the kitchen table. I thought he would stand and walk away. Perhaps I wanted him too much. Perhaps I yearned for him to say no, that he would proclaim my insanity and fervently leave the room. Yet he remained. There he lingered, his eyes locked onto mine, as if my very soul ensnared him in an unbreakable bond. His lips parted and closed, caught in a maze of contemplation, unsure of the words that lingered on the edge of his tongue. "What do you mean?" he asked, his voice a gentle tremor, as if he hesitated to uncover the truth behind the answer. I took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the moment. "Indeed, you may proceed with your endeavors, but only in my sight shall it be allowed. In return, I shall live as I wish. Behold, I possess the ability to draw others into this realm, while you keep your silence on the subject. No judgment, no questions shall arise. We both possess what we desire. Indeed, such is the way of things." In the stillness that enveloped us, an unspoken tension lingered. Jack remained silent, his gaze fixed on me, revealing a depth of thought that spoke volumes without uttering a sound. His brow knitted in tension lips, drawn into a thin line. At my whisper, I sensed the turmoil within him, grappling with the gravity of my confession. In the shadows of desire, I sought to untangle the intricate threads of comprehension. My heart was drawn into a pursuit, both sincere and consuming, grappling with the essence of the very same truth. The murmurs hung in the air, caught between us, and I felt helpless to retrieve them. Yet I wasn't sure my heart truly wished for that. Finally, he simply nodded a faint echo of agreement. Simply watching is sufficient. Indeed, it is so. He did declare with his voice, so tender, like a soft murmur in the night. I hardly noticed it. If this is what you truly seek, and so it unfolded. Such was the understanding. In that initial moment, it took place. My stomach twisted, as if a storm brewed inside me. At the edge of my restless bed, my heart raced, and my clammy hands shook with anxiety. Deep down, I convinced myself this was his desire, that it eclipsed all else, that I engaged in this act for him alone. Yet deep within the shadows of my heart, I realized that the truth was far from simple. It never truly unfolds. Jack stepped into the room, his eyes locked on the floor, avoiding the weight of unspoken words. Silence enveloped us, a heavy shroud. Neither of us dared to meet each other's eyes, lost in the unspoken tension that crackled in the air. I remained still, pretending the storm within was nothing more than a gentle breeze. Indeed, this day appeared to be nothing out of the ordinary. As the final act concluded, he slipped away, vanishing into the shadows. A heavy silence lingered in the air. In the stillness, I lingered like a shadow, time stretching endlessly after that pivotal instant. From my vantage point, I stared at the empty wall, attempting to convince my heart that all was right in this transient world. Indeed, it was a moment of profound beauty. It is a curious thing indeed. The matters to which one may grow accustomed at the outset did strike like a blow to the very core. Yet, as the sands of time flowed, so too did the burdens lighten, revealing the hidden depths of desire and the shadows of trust that lingered in the air. Perhaps I have simply become skilled at masking the turmoil within, pretending that nothing stirs my spirit. I convinced myself that no one else was harmed, that it was merely a difference in perspective. I told myself I was being rational and cautious. In my pursuit, I sought to draw forth beauty from the depths of despair. For a fleeting moment, I clung to that conviction. Yet Maximus unfolded a narrative entirely different. Violent emotions danced beneath a surface of calm. In his eyes, however, the reality unfolded before me. Oh, the heaviness of regret, the ache of betrayal. He uttered not a single syllable. Yet I sensed a profound aversion within him, a hidden contempt for the very desire that pulled him closer to me, for the undeniable need for my existence. Each time I caught a glimpse of that expression on his face, it shattered my heart into pieces. Entreat me for another caress, if you please. But what path was I to follow? He was my blood, my only child. To abandon him, I could not bear. My heart ached at the sight of him drowning in his own feelings while I stood helplessly by. So I did what I often do. With a facade of bravery, I moved forward for his sake. In the shadows of my thoughts, I grapple with a dilemma, unsure if my choices are true. Frequently, I linger in a haze of doubt, contemplating the path that feels right, yet it remains just out of reach. Still, we find ourselves here, entwined in the existence we have created. In truth, it was enough as it needed to be. At first, it held no remarkable significance. Jack followed the routine, if one could call it that. In the hush of dawn, it unfolded a delicate dance of desire. Again, as shadows lengthened, it whispered through the air, unpredictable yet tantalizingly familiar, a secret that lingered just beyond reach. I convinced myself that this was merely a passing fancy, that he would soon tire of such nonsense. I believed it would fade away, like all new things do, yet I was wrong. Instead of slowing down, it only intensified, though it began with a tender touch. As the first light surrendered to the warmth of midday, the day gracefully slipped into the tender caress of twilight. 2 mornings followed in quick succession, and I found myself acutely aware of the fleeting nature of time. The hours of the day began their endless waltz. This arrangement indeed revealed a scarcity of ordinary moments, rare instances. In the stillness of the room, a heavy silence enveloped us. We were weighed down by our own choices, entwined in a dance of unspoken truths. I sought to push it away, to bury it deep within the shadows of my mind. Yet it lingered, a shadow weaving through the atmosphere. For the first time, a disquiet settled within me. As I busied myself with the delicate task of folding garments, an unsettling awareness began to unfurl. Jack stepped inside a hush enveloping him like a shroud, standing at the edge of the room. His face etched with unspoken thoughts, his body a statue of restraint. Just as he was about to speak, I felt the weight of his unvoiced longings, sharp and undeniable. As I gently set aside the delicate fabrics, caressing the smooth satin with tender precision, the couch remains a silent witness waiting for his arrival, calm and expectant, while he toils away. Yet an unsettling shift lingers in the atmosphere. This time he lingered after the curtain fell, his eyes fixed on me as if he were trying to share a hidden truth. But the right words eluded him, hanging in the air between us, heavy with unexpressed desire. My heart stirred with a quiet intensity. In the stillness of the moment, a heavy feeling settled deep within me, like an unyielding weight. "Are you well?" I asked softly, my voice tender and inviting. He intended to respond with a nod, but the truth flickered in his eyes, revealing more than words could say. The night unfolded with a weight that went beyond simple comfort. It held a significance that lingered in the air. As darkness enveloped me, sleep remained a distant dream. As I gazed at the endless stretch above, my thoughts danced through the day's memories, looping endlessly in the quiet corners of my mind. I urged my heart to let go of these reflections, fearing I was merely summoning shadows of the past. Yet deep within, I sensed a truth that resonated with an unsettling clarity. This was no longer just a way for him to survive. From this moment on, it blossomed into a deep desire that intertwined with the very essence of his being. He found himself lost in thought, a storm brewing within. It was a daunting realization, and a part of him hesitated, unsure of how to navigate the tumultuous waters ahead. In the days that followed, Jack's demeanor shifted once more. He stopped trying to hide the truth, no longer waiting in suspense for the inevitable moment to arrive. It felt as if he disregarded the boundaries that had been established. From this moment on, that will change. The bond we created seemed to grant him the freedom to chase his desires without restraint. At his command, I lingered ready to fulfill his every wish. Perhaps it was meant to be. I had given myself to him completely. Was I not free to embrace this moment? The first time I dared to tease him, it was an accident. A turn of destiny, unexpected. As I labored in the kitchen, crafting our dinner, he slipped in with a subtle elegance. In that moment, I felt his eyes on me, following my every movement, with a hunger that stirred something deep within. The purpose of my actions slipped through my fingers like sand. Yet I was drawn to break the heavy silence that enveloped us. Perhaps I sought to challenge his strength, to measure the depths of his determination. But in a fleeting lapse of judgment, I let my jacket slip from my shoulders, falling onto the counter with a reckless grace. I caught the sharp intake of his breath and turned to lock eyes with him. A soft smile lingers at the corners of my mouth. "Is something wrong?" I asked, pretending not to know, while fully aware of the truth beneath the surface. Observe closely how the flush of crimson graced his cheeks. He offered no words, merely turned and departed the room in silence. Yet I could feel the weight of his gaze still hovering in the air even after he had gone. It became a game of sorts, one that intrigued me deeply. I would gather my hair high, a silent invitation to the unspoken tension that lingered between us. Allow my attire to rise with elegance. Just a small detail, perhaps a touch more refined. Allow my trousers to linger unfastened just a heartbeat longer than is proper. Nothing was made clear. Nothing explicit yet enough to make him squirm, to draw him in. "Hold on, I implore you." As it slipped away, an intriguing sense of power enveloped me. A long-hidden desire awakened, stirring a tumult of pleasure within my being. Yet with each passing moment, the line that once separated us began to blur, drawing us closer into a tangled web of emotions. He began to pursue me more often, searching for reasons to validate his being. So near yet, he had no reason to linger. I found myself drawn to him, wrapping my arms around him. I convinced myself that there was nothing sinister in his presence. It held no substance, no meaning. Yet the reality was cloaked in ambiguity, for I could no longer discern its implications. Assurance had slipped away, leaving only uncertainty in its trail. In the fading light of dusk, a moment stretched heavy with unspoken words. As shadows danced, the air thickened with anticipation, drawing all closer together. In that dimly lit room, Jack lingered lost in thought, his eyes tracing the contours of my being. I found myself absorbed in the pages of a book, the air thick with unspoken tension. There lingered a heavy tension, dense as the mist that cloaks the dawn, the kind that sends shivers across the skin and quickens the heartbeat. My gaze fell upon him. As our eyes locked for the first time, a charged silence enveloped us. In that brief instant, I held my ground unwavering, just as he did, I beseech you. Behold, a rift lies deep between us, heavy and suffocating. Yet in the stillness, I found my voice and stood tall. Now I shall seek solace in the embrace of sleep. I softly proclaimed my words, barely a breath in the stillness. Yet I felt the weight of his eyes lingering on me. I left that place, my mind clouded with confusion, unsure of how we arrived at this moment. It pains me to reflect on how I let things spiral into such a regrettable situation. Yet here we find ourselves caught in an endless cycle. My heart is burdened with doubt, for I do not know how to seek solace. And in equal measure, in the depths of my heart, I long to seize the threads of destiny, to sense the intoxicating thrill of control still within my reach. Yet a heavy burden rests upon my soul, as the taste of defeat lingers in the shadows. It was only with the arrival of William that everything began to shift. William slipped into our existence, a mere chance meeting that appeared trivial. A fleeting moment brushed aside as inconsequential. Yet there was something about him that hinted at deeper currents beneath the surface. One could easily miss the allure. He possessed a natural grace that seemed effortlessly coaxing a smile from my lips. His laughter enveloped the room in a comforting embrace, disarming and enchanting, and in his company I felt an unexpected buoyancy. Perhaps for the first time in years, I found myself willing to let my guard down as William's visits became more frequent. At first it was merely a casual meal or a drink shared on the back porch. But soon he lingered in the parlor, long after Jack had retreated to his room. And on that fateful night he chose not to leave at all. I made no attempt to hide it from Maximus. Indeed, that was not part of our agreement after all. Still, I could not shake the look on his face the next day when he saw Henry in the kitchen. At the table, he savored his coffee, embodying the essence of a seasoned regular, enveloped in a shroud of comfort. Yet beneath the surface, a subtle tension betrayed him. I recognized the strain etched in his clenched jaw. The way his fingers clutched the plate spoke volumes, revealing a fervor that belied the calm facade. Indeed, it feels a touch overwhelming. At first, Jack remained quiet, shrouded in the shadows of the evening. He merely watched from the sidelines, his expression heavy with sorrow. As the weeks slipped away, William's presence became a familiar shadow in our home, yet his quietude morphed into something sharper. He began to lash out over the smallest of matters, while I let important tasks fade into the recesses of my thoughts. Incongruous hosiery, a trivial annoyance, yet it seemed to take on a life of its own. I tried to push it aside, convincing my heart that it was merely his way of settling in. Yet indeed the truth emerged, for I could feel the heavy, bitter roots of resentment intertwining between us, thick and oppressive like a storm, ready to break upon the fading light. As William and I lay upon the couch, laughter danced between us, a soft glow of shared delight. Suddenly, foolish Jack slipped into the room, his presence heavy with unspoken thoughts. He stood there looking at us, with an expression that was both confusing and captivating, one that slipped through my grasp. When I lifted my gaze to meet his eyes, I saw it clearly. The pain, the simmering anger, the tumultuous thoughts that had long simmered beneath the surface before I could utter a word, he spoke. His voice quivered soft and low, like secrets carried on a gentle breeze. "Do you even care within your heart any longer?" He spoke, slicing through the silence like a sharp blade. William's eyes were wide, a canvas of disbelief. Still, my attention remained fixed on Maximus. "What do you mean?" I asked, my voice steady and unyielding. As my heart quickened with a fervent rhythm, he stepped closer. His hands clenched tightly at his sides, a silent tension hanging in the air. "Thou art not a keeper of my heart. What dost thou imply by our connection? This journey we embark upon hath left its mark upon me. The room hath faded away." Softly, as if the universe paused in anticipation, William, gripped by uncertainty, remained still. With deliberate elegance, I lifted myself from my slumber. My heart tightened as I searched within Maximus's gaze for a hint of understanding. "Oh, Maximus, you weave your words with deceit," I whispered softly. "Softly, my heart cradles you with a deep yearning." His voice returned, filled with passion. "Ah, the Howies rise once more. None of this, perhaps. Truly do you mean for me? You allow this rogue to walk into our lives as if it were nothing but a mere trifle. You sit and laugh with him as if I were merely a shadow unseen and unheard." Ah, I felt the warmth fade from my core. His words enveloped me, a tempest of unexpected intensity. "Maximus," I called out. Reaching out to him, I felt the warmth of connection, but he pulled away too soon. My touch could have caressed his being. Oh, how blind I was to the truth. "You felt this way," I declared, "yet truly you did not." He spoke softly, his heart weighed down by unspoken truths. "You are too consumed by your own freedom, or whatever it is that holds your attention. Do you truly think this is how it is? Can you even see me anymore, or am I just something you use?" The silence that followed was heavy. William, restless, shifted on the couch, softly expressing a need for distance, before slipping out the door and disappearing from view. My gaze barely caught the scene. There stood my sons, trembling under the weight of their unspoken feelings. Indeed, I had chosen to ignore that pivotal night, when Maximus, consumed by his stormy anger, withdrew to his solitude. In the quiet of my own space, I discovered the depths of my being cocooned in the shadows of my room, my gaze lingering on the abandoned cup of tea hastily left by dear William. His words reverberated in my thoughts, a haunting melody that played on repeat. Each slice of memory cut deeper than the last, leaving a lingering ache that refused to fade. He spoke with honesty. My thoughts had not strayed to him. Indeed, no tree shall remain in this place. In my fervent pursuit to heal this turmoil, I toiled under the illusion that everything was fine, while the truth eluded my grasp. Alas, I failed to consider the impact of my actions on his spirit. For the first time in many moons, I felt the oppressive weight of my decisions, the bond that had been forged. With Maximus, we wove the boundaries we dared to cross, the lines we blurred in the shadows. It was no longer just about our destinies. It became a tale of our metamorphosis and the wreckage we left behind in our wake. That night, sleep slipped through my fingers, like a fleeting shadow. I remained there, my gaze locked on the door, contemplating whether a solution to my torment still hid in the darkness, or perhaps the moment had passed forever, lost to time. In the aftermath of our rift, the house was cloaked in a heavy stillness. Jack remained hidden in his room, the door firmly closed as the air thickened with unspoken tension, murmuring secrets of what had transpired. Upon the modest kitchen table, I lingered, my gaze drawn to the rich darkness of my morning brew. The steam curled upward like a delicate whisper in the air. Enveloped in a haze of thought, found myself unable to ignore its allure any longer. In truth, I felt an irresistible urge to move. Indeed, what significance does it hold? This was the reality. What we once held dear has now shifted the nature of our connection. This situation cannot persist any further. Not for him, I declare. In the fading light of dusk, I softly knocked upon his door, seeking entry into the shadows of our unspoken desires. In the beginning, a heavy quiet enveloped everything, leaving only the faintest whispers of unspoken thoughts. I lingered there, my forehead resting against the wooden structure, contemplating the allure of your name, Maximus, so steeped in legend. Oh, I implore you. I beg you allow me but a fleeting moment of your attention. Time has softened the edges. Finally, the door whispered open, revealing him a silhouette poised in the doorway, his face cloaked in shadows, and his eyes rimmed with an exhaustion that ran deep. "Please forgive me." Spoken softly, my voice quivered. "For everything that is, for not recognizing the shadows of your pain, for permitting things to spiral into this sorrowful abyss." Indeed, I faltered. His face did not soften with tender shades immediately, yet he retreated from the conflict. To allow me passage, at the edge of his sanctuary, I lingered while he, arms crossed over his heart, leaned against the frigid, unyielding barrier. We find ourselves in need of aid. I revealed the truth of our shared existence. I can no longer pretend that the end is not near. Indeed, I am aware of my own choices, and I cannot let our path spiral deeper into darkness. The path I have walked is laden with missteps. Still, I long to heal the divide. If you would allow me, dear M. Maximus remained quiet, his words few at the beginning. He simply nodded his gaze, revealing unspoken truths. In a matter of days, the wounds shall find their healing on the earth below. In a dimly lit room, we sat across from the revered Benjamin, a guide of family I stumbled upon in the endless depths of the internet. Raphael, a man of tender spirit, held a kindness that was truly exceptional. His expression, calm and steadfast, wrapped you in a cocoon of safety, even when the quiet lingered between us. At first, we both held back. We remained still, the weight of our story pressing down unspoken yet palpable. Such a heavy weight transcends the limits of simple words. Yet Benjamin has a remarkable ability to cut through the quiet, asking questions that feel light and unforced, almost like an invitation to a hidden celebration. Slowly, Jack began to reveal the depths of his heart. He mourned the loneliness that had enveloped him since their parting, the confusion he carried about their connection, and the feelings that had been rising within him weighed heavily on his soul. With my ears finely tuned, I witnessed the sorrowful streams cascading down my face as I listened to him weave his words. I felt emotions I had long neglected stirring within me once more. In the weeks that followed, the counsel of healing, a delicate thread wove itself into the fabric of our everyday existence. It was far from an easy endeavor. There were days when we left the office feeling more drained than when we first stepped inside. Those bygone days raised a question. As we tread softly along our shared path, the walls that once kept us apart began to dissolve, revealing the depths of our connection. Raphael, your name lingers in the shadows, a haunting melody that resonates through the ages, helped us define the boundaries we craved. Genuine restraints. This time I revealed to Jack that our agreement has reached its conclusion, how it aches a painful misstep in the shadows of desire. Yet here we stand ready to begin again, a fresh page beckoning for our touch. It has struggled to carve out its own space. In moments of solitude, I caught glimpses of him withdrawing. We hold tightly to the old ways. His frustration rises, revealing itself in bursts of anger or quiet tears. Yet, with Raphael's subtle guidance, we unearth deeper avenues to traverse our challenges. Jack has embarked on the journey of journaling, a pursuit I never imagined he would embrace. He has also taken the bold step of joining a local martial arts class, where he found a way to channel his turbulent feelings. Slowly, I witnessed his change. He seemed to elevate slightly, his words laced with a newfound assurance. And so began the journey of lingering moments spent in the shadows, weaving connections that defied the ordinary. Indeed, the greatest challenge I faced was the intimate reckoning with my own desires. Truly, it was a confrontation with my innermost self. In the quiet corners of my soul, I was drawn to confront the choices I had made. The subtle ways my own doubts and vulnerabilities wove through the connection I had with Maximus became undeniable. Countless hours have slipped through my fingers, desperately holding on to his ephemeral essence. I sought to bridge the void created by our unraveling, unaware of the tight grip it had on our very beings. We both surrendered that power. Learning to trust in his own power to stand alone was one of the most challenging endeavors I had ever faced. On a night long ago after our first meeting, Jack and I lounged on the porch, our eyes locked on the sun as it melted into the horizon's warm embrace. His eyes lingered on me and he murmured, "I appreciate everything you've done." It lacked the flair of grandiosity, yet it was enough. I reached out, taking his hand, a simple act heavy with unvoiced emotions. Often the quiet carries more meaning than any spoken phrase. In the quiet moments, we linger in thought, slowly peeling back the layers of our reality. To heal the soul, one must navigate a labyrinthine journey, filled with unexpected detours. Amidst the chaos and the tangled web of our experiences, a flicker of promise dances within me, for I finally sense that Jack is forging a new path ahead. In this shared journey, we find ourselves entwined, navigating the shadows of our past. Though the weight of our choices lingers, we move forward, fingers intertwined toward an uncertain future. Life offers no manual, and had I ever possessed such a guide, I would have long discarded it, embracing the mystery of what lies ahead. Jack and I have navigated through shadows deeper than I ever dreamed, facing the weight of what destiny has thrown our way. Still, in an enigmatic way, we move forward, always reaching for more. Yet I find myself discovering that our space feels altered, as if touched by a delicate newfound brightness. Perhaps there lies a quiet comfort in the understanding that we are finally moving toward a more radiant future. Maxim has found his solid ground. He spends more time in the presence of his friends. In the quiet hours spent indulging in his desires, our paths cross, revealing the essence of our separate selves. We meet not as entangled souls, but as individuals navigating a complex tapestry of fate, unaware of its full design. Still, we cherish those ephemeral moments of bliss. Indeed, while the journey of healing is fraught with imperfections, I sense it has progressed for me. A journey has begun where I face my true self. In the depths of introspection, I have learned to accept the delicate process of forgiving my own transgressions. To release the weight of remorse that has long haunted my spirit, I must accept that not every wound can be healed by my own efforts. Sometimes the most honorable choice for someone you hold dear is to step back, granting them the freedom to navigate their own journey. While the road has been fraught with challenges, I find solace in the progress we have made together. Not merely as a mother and her child, but as two souls entwined in a delicate dance of understanding, each seeking to unveil the depths of the other's heart. If there is but one lesson to be drawn from this exchange, it is the profound importance of boundaries. Truly, the essence lies within that sacred space. They are not just commands, they are acts of tenderness. Tenderness for those who linger close, and a deep love for oneself. They protect what you hold dear, allowing room for growth and elevation, for understanding, for the connection that binds us. In the depths of my contemplation, I have come to realize that the burden of responsibility is matched only by the beauty of letting go. Frequently, the hardest challenge one encounters is to admit their own failings. However, in that admission, a freedom envelops those who are willing to listen to such sincere revelations. I beseech you to consider this notion. Even the shadows of past mistakes do not define you. It is your choices that carve your true self as you emerge from the depths, reborn and renewed. How do you face those you have wronged? As you move forward, remember this growth is not about achieving perfection. It is about your willingness to welcome change, though it may envelop you in unease. Though anguish does stab at the soul, Jack and I persist in untangling the strands of our lives, and I am convinced we shall remain entwined in this dance forevermore. Such is the essence of our reality. Yet indeed this is a rare moment. In this fleeting time I sense that we walk upon solid ground. We delve into a profound journey, enhanced without a doubt, perhaps something deeper, more tender. As we tread this path together, fingers entwined, I find myself longing to uncover the depths of your mind. Share with me your musings, for they beckon like a soft caress in the night. What path would you choose if your world fell apart, just like mine? Please, how do you plan to move forward from here? Do share your thoughts in the comments below, especially if this story has touched your soul. Pray do not let your memory wane. Remember to grant your favor. Share with your loved ones and indulge in more pleasures to come.